Okay. So the rumors are true. The rumors. uh, there's no rumors. XO is being canceled. Okay, so canceled is a strong word. But XO is definitely being shelved. Uh, XO, yeah, definitely being shelved. It's kind of hard to explain why. So if you watched my last couple of videos, I've been working on a game with the working title XO. And I decided to shelve it. Like, ever since the semester ended, I just didn't really think it would make sense to make that game right now. Yeah, so I didn't really know how to explain my reasoning, so I made a PowerPoint presentation to show, or it's Google Slides, but same thing. Um, so let's get into it. The PowerPoint's title is called Features Needed to Make XO a Viable Game. Let's get into it. So, a list of features that I think XO should have. So first off, we have controller support. So I don't think this feature is necessarily a difficult feature to add, but I've never done it before, so that would be something I'd have to learn. But it shouldn't be too hard to figure out how to do that. Should be a good challenge. So after controller support, we have 4+ playable characters. I really want to have more than one playable character, and I've already started designing different characters for the game. I don't know if you guys saw or remember the mock-up that I did in the last devlog, but you can see the second playable character in it. And I also have some concept art, I guess, or just sketches of what I think she would be like. But it's really something that I wanted in the game, and I don't think I'm willing to cut that for like scope or whatever. So yeah, I want XO to have 4+ playable characters. I guess that shouldn't be too hard to do either. But trying to do it in a way that is modular, and I don't know how to explain it. I just want them. Anyway, so next, a single player campaign. I was really trying to figure out what kind of game XO was, because obviously you're playing tic-tac-toe versus or tic-tac-toe is like a 2-player game. So you need 2 players. So, but I also wanted you to have like a single player like story, because I'm a storyteller, right? I don't want my game to just be about playing tic-tac-toe, right? So I did want a single player story in it. And in order to have a single player, you know, experience campaign, I would need a lot of AI. So I would need a tic-tac-toe AI, which isn't too hard. I've made one before. I'm using something called the Minimax algorithm, and it wasn't too hard. I'd also need like navigation, because you're navigating this 2D space, right? And there's a tic-tac board floating in the air that you would have to hit. So the AI would have to first use the Minimax algorithm to find the next best spot to attack, and then it would have to navigate to that spot and jump up and hit it, right? So I'd have to figure out some navigation AI. And then hitting the board kind of goes hand in hand with navigation, is combat AI. So I need something to tell the CPU when to attack. Like, am I close enough to the board? Am I close enough to the space that I want to hit? Then I should attack. Am I close to the player? Then I should attack. Something like that. Or is the player close to getting tic-tac-toe? Maybe I want to focus the player down, like stop them from getting their three in a row. So maybe I would focus the player. So that's a lot of stuff to think about. All right. So, anyways, I also wanted uh, to go along with the single player campaign. I wanted it to be multiplayer, and I really did want it to be like local multiplayer, but I didn't really envision XO as a party game. So I would like to have some matchmaking, like online multiplayer as well. So networking, matchmaking, that is stuff that I have not done in the context of a game. Like I've done like networking, freaking sending packets, receiving packets and stuff, but I've never done it in the context of a game. So yeah, that'd be a lot to learn, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot, dude. So I feel like if you introduce the option of having to play against other humans, then I feel like your CPU needs to be able to match the other humans, and that would maybe take some complex AI programming, maybe even machine learning to like kind of teach the AI how to play the game. And I barely understand machine learning, to be honest. You know, like neural networks, I understand like the very basics. So that's another thing that I would have to learn in order to build this game, basically. I do not like these glasses, man. All right. Next up, I would want to have unlockables, you know? Like, if you're playing against another player, usually you would want something. And when I say unlockables, I mean like kind of customizables. Because when you're playing against other people, you kind of want something to distinguish yourself from them. So I'd have to figure out a system where you can, like, I don't know, maybe buy different skins for your characters, or like have something that you would be able to make yourself distinct from another. So if you're playing one character and an opponent is playing the exact same character, there have to be a way to like stand out from them. I think that's important in multiplayer games. Like people have titles in like RPGs, even like shooters. You like Valorant. You have titles. So I put different titles that people can see and stuff like that, different banners. So it's kind of like your way of personalization, and I think that's important for a multiplayer game. So these are just like some of the features I've been thinking about that XO would need to really be the game I want it to be. And this includes a lot of like learning and trying new things on my part, which is part of game development. But I don't think I should be going into it blind, especially if I want it to be my first commercial game. And I think that's the crux of my problem, right? So next slide. So currently I really don't think XO could be successful, honestly. For one, it's a really like weird idea. It's not really in demand game, right? I honestly don't know if there's a market for it. I don't believe there's a market for it. Like I've been thinking of other games that it could be compared to, or I would want it to be compared to, or I'm getting inspiration from. One of them is Lethal League, which is a freaking fun game, but I don't really know if it really has a market. I don't know if it has like a community or anything, and if I'm like pulling from Lethal League, a game that I'm not sure how widely received it is. I don't think it's that widely received. Then I feel like my game would follow in its footsteps, and my game most likely not going to be as good as Lethal League. Also, Dust Force is a game I played in high school, and I loved that game, but I don't really think it's very widely talked about. I think it's a speedrunning game, and my game isn't a speedrunning game. Yeah, so those are like kind of two games that I'm kind of thinking of when I'm making my game. And both of these I don't well, I haven't done like research. I haven't done like looked up the numbers or anything. But I just don't feel like they really had that much reach, you know? And my game is just not gonna be as good as theirs. It's my first commercial game. And that's the thing. Like, commercial, I don't think this would be a good commercial game. Or a good first game, right? Or first commercial game. I do still want to make it. That's one thing. Like, I liked my idea. I like my character designs. I like the story that I've been thinking about in the background. I would still want to make it. But I just don't think, as a first game, first commercial game at that too, I don't think EXO is the right idea. Yeah, I just not confident in that as a first move. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna work on it ever again, which could possibly be the case. Like, maybe I just get a whole bunch of other ideas and I never come back to EXO. But I do want to make EXO. I think I have a cool idea. Don't know if there's a market for it. It could just be like a fun hobby project that I don't release for money. Like, I just release it on itch or something. Make updates to it every once in a while, you know? It could be cool like that, but trying to make money off of it doesn't seem like it'll work. So yeah, that's why I'm shelving XO. So I've been wondering, like, I don't want to not make a game, right? So I was wondering, like, what I should work on instead of XO that could be a suitable first commercial game. And I was digging through my prototypes, and I have a work in progress with the working title of Space One. This is a dumb title, and it's most likely going to change, but I think this is the closest I have to something that can be commercial. It's designed for mobile. And it still might not have a nice market, but I feel like the scope is a little bit smaller, and it's more doable. So this is the game I'm going to be working on. Over the next week, I'm going to be restructuring it because a lot of the code in here is not very good. I went and looked through it. Yeah, but over the next week, I'll be restructuring Space One, and I'll update you guys on what's happening with that. But yeah, later.